I really just recorded this whole video without any sound, right? So yeah, this was the trade I took today on Wednesday, April the 8th, okay? It netted me, it's a bit difficult because I was taking partials and I had loads of different accounts, but this, where I got out, was 4R, right? But because I was taking partials, I'm just going to call it 3R, just to keep it fair and simple, right? So originally, my final TP was around here, and that was because we had this 4-hour flat body low here on YM and a 4-hour fair value gap, right? And you can see that NQ and ES actually tagged into it. As you can see, the same correlated 4-hour gap got tagged into. We swept it, right? Created a bullish SMT. So when we didn't do that, obviously I left runners to that 4-hour gap tag. I got stopped out break even on them. It doesn't matter, I still made money on the day, still made plenty of money, right? So I'm just going to break this down from a top-down analysis point of view, okay? So on the daily, we obviously at open, we had this huge bullish move, right? And what happens after expansion, right? After expansion, we want to see some kind of either retracement, consolidation, right? So I knew that we were going to have to come back into the range because we can't just expand forever, okay? So I wanted to look for a signature in price, and we had this 4-hour PSP. Why is this a 4-hour PSP? Because that same correlated candle, ES and NQ closed bearish while YM closed bullish. YM was the strongest asset. I traded the strongest asset because it still had the drawers and it gave me a bear entry, and I saw a certain signature, okay? Also, we also had our candle 2 closure, which was an extra confirmation. That was me profiling the 4-hour, right? 6 a.m. reversal, PSP at the highs, which is a form of SMT, and then 10 a.m. continuation, okay? 1 hour, what do we have? Okay, we had these Asia lows, which ES and NQ both took. YM obviously failed to. That was where my runners was going. So my runners were going to this Asia lows. But yeah, let me talk about this. So we had this SMT here at the highs, right? Perfect. SMT with a candle 2 closure, amazing. The reason I didn't trade the candle 2 was because this wick was just too big for me to feel comfortable in a stop loss placement. It wouldn't make sense, risk to reward wise, okay? Let me get rid of these little candles, right? So I wanted to see this wick at 10 a.m. form in the 0.5, right? In this lower half of this wick, right? And I wanted to see it go into a key level on the 3-minute. 30 minutes aligned with the 3-minute, right? What do we have here? We have a 3-minute fair value gap, right? Perfect. So that shows me that the wick is in now. So this is our wick here at 10 a.m, right? Now we should trade lower. And what do we get? We get this beautiful change in state of delivery, right? We also had a breaker block here, which I didn't take because I was waiting for the candle 2, right? Stop loss is exactly where you see it, okay? And then we targeted back down to the Asia low and the 4-hour gap with flat body low as well. On most of my accounts, I ended up getting out just at a low because that's where NQ swept the Asia low and created some bullish SMT like this, right? So yeah, and obviously I left some runners at break even, and you know, it wasn't on this account. I left the runners at break even. It was on a different account, but yeah, they're stopped at break even. I partialed on some, I didn't partial on others. All of my accounts went break even already. And then yeah, some accounts, or actually I think it was around 95% of my accounts managed to get this take profit here. There was one eval which I basically left all the way to the low. Obviously it got stopped at break even after I took the partials, okay? But that's an eval, no one cares about an eval. So what I'm saying is that I at least got 3R, probably a bit more, like 3.1R. I'm not going to say I got 4R because obviously the partials and whatnot. But yeah, it was a pretty clean trade. I'm 3 for 3 on the week. So far this week, I made 3R today, made 3.2R yesterday, made 2R on Monday, right? So we're currently up 7.2R roughly, which is amazing. I've done this all live. And yeah, I know some people in the YouTube stream today caught this with me, which is amazing. Other than that, guys, I will put the executions on the screen now, and I'll also put the signals I called out into the private group. And yeah, nevertheless, I hope you're having a good rest of the day, and take care, everyone.